What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Just finished watching the match and Barcelona beat FC Seoul 7-3 in their first of two matches in South Korea. An absolute goal fest of a game with 10 goals in total. Us conceding 3 on paper isn't the best, but we will discuss that, of course. But of course, as well, on the flip side, us scoring 7 goals is no mean feat. Of course, you can see the starting lineup for this match that's on the screen with the official team photo, with Joel Garcia in goal, a back four of Jules Koundé, right center back being Araujo, left center back being Kubarsi, left back being Balde, midfield 3 of Frankie de Jong, Pedri, Olmo, front 3 of Lamine, Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha. Basically our best team on paper. Second half lineup was Chesney in goal, back four of Hector Fort, Christensen, Gerard Martin playing at center back, Jeffrey Torres at left back, midfield 3 of Casado, Gavi, Fermin, front 3 of Rooney, Bargi, Ferran Torres, Marcus Rashford, and I believe the Fernandez cousins came off the bench for Gavi and Rooney Bargi. So we saw total of what? That's 11 plus 11, 22, 24 players in total play in this game. I think honestly the display was pretty solid. Scoring 7 goals is crazy. The first goal came from a Lewandowski tap in from Lamine Yamal hitting the post. The second goal, I'm already forgetting that there are so many. I remember Lamine Yamal scoring. I think he was the one who actually scored the second, and then he scored the third as well just before halftime that cut inside. Fourth goal was a Christensen bombazo from distance. Fifth goal was a nice scored goal by Ferran. The sixth goal was a great goal by Gavi, and the seventh goal as well was the Rashford assist for Ferran's brace. I think overall the performance is encouraging for sure. Especially with you see how the team, had this sort of fluidity. They had the chemistry going forward. Their build-up play is still really strong. They're a big threat in behind. And we saw that in the attacking display in this game, where the chances were created. We saw every single forward in this game play well, whether it's Fermin, Olmo, Lamine, Rooney, Rashford, Lua, and Ferran, both strikers getting on the score sheet. Rafa had a solid first half as well. So attacking-wise, this team is still on point. Defense is still the big question mark. Of course, conceding 3. The first goal they scored was offside. The second goal was they beat the offside line, and same with their third goal as well. They both beat the offside line, and they scored it. And should this be a concern for Flick? I wouldn't say it should be a concern, but definitely something to watch out for, because we're still leaking goals, and the whole point of having preseason was to shore up the few mistakes that we do have in that back line to minimize those chances in behind, and they're still there. To be fair, FC Seoul had, I think, a solid display from themselves as well. They pressed very, very well, and they had chances in this game, and they scored the majority of their chances. And this is the thing with Barcelona: we concede 2 or 3 chances, but the problem is that the chances that we concede are like 100% conversion rate, and that is probably my main worry heading into the season, where for a fact that if the team creates your opponents, or I say, create 2 chances, they're scoring at least one of them easily, and probably both of them. I think for the first goal it was offside, so I guess the team did well in that sense, and that was of course the starting center back pairing per se. And the second one was Christensen and Gerard Martin at left back. By the way, looks like Eric Garcia and Inigo do have knocks. They were warming up on the sideline, but maybe they weren't just fully fit and didn't want to risk it to start the game, because we knew that Eric Garcia wasn't training a lot this week, but Inigo we've heard nothing about. So that comes as a little bit of a surprise. But the second goal was them beating the space in the first half on Kubarsi and Araujo. Again, the finish was great from the forward as well. Third goal as well. I think we were all in our own half. I think it was, Gerard Martin and Christensen, the last 2 men. It's a bit frustrating, I'm not going to lie. Not frustrating enough for me to, throw my toys out the pram and, lose my head. But, I'm not saying you have to keep a clean sheet in preseason, but at least not be conceding goals like that, where it's based on your system, your style of play, where they exploit it and they score. That is where the damning part, in my opinion, does come in. But some standout performances, of course, were Lamine Yamal down that right-hand side. Absolutely emphatic. He is going to be absolutely crazy this season. Really, 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 really loved the performance of Gavi in that second half. I know he only played, 35 minutes or so. But madre mia, man. I've seen a lot of people say that Pedri, Gavi, Bernal will be our starting midfield come like March and April. It's not far-fetched, to be honest. I think if it's in a 4-3-3, definitely. I think in a 4-2-3-1 it's going to be hard to display Olmo, but maybe Olmo won't be fit. That's why Gavi will start. But my God, Gavi's just unbelievable. I really like Jeffy Torrens as well in that second half. I think Christensen looked really solid. John Martin was kind of okay, but he got the assist around to, boost him up. I think Hector Fort looked really, really good. Casado, Fermin were, okay. Rudy Bargi was okay. Rashford looked quite lively. Hopefully more to come from him. Ferran Torres, of course, bagged 2 goals. The first half, Koundé was kind of calm and posed. Arujo looked great on the ball, but off the ball, a little bit of question marks. Same with Kubarsi as well. I think Balde looked okay. A few slip-ups. I think both goalkeepers were fine today. I think De Jong and Pedri looked fantastic. I think Olmo looked really good, but just needs to be a bit more decisive. Of course, Lamine was fantastic. Lua was okay. And Rafa was solid. So positive, encouraging signs from this game. And I really like how Flick is sticking with the, one team per half. In the preseason. I don't know what he'll do for the next game on Monday. He probably will keep it a bit more consistent. Maybe the first starting team will play an hour as opposed to just the 45 minutes. I can definitely see that being a plan in his mind. But the team's getting more fresh. They're keeping the progress working. And I expect by the time the João Gamper hits in 10 days, the final game before the La Liga starts, I'm expecting, our best team to play about 75 minutes or so, then make substitutions. We need to be sharp by the João Gamper. Against the Como team that have done quite well in preseason as well. A good team. And that's going to be, I think, the big question mark. That's going to be a match review where I'm going to be actually reviewing and analyzing and seeing what and how the team performed. But in these kind of games, there's a second game, you just kind of, go with the motions. I think the only one takeaway, the one eyebrow raise, I would say, is on us conceding 3, with all 3 of them coming from positional sense, from our offside, from our high line. They weren't like world goals, shot from distance. You're just like, okay, great goal, mate. Take a fair play. It's all from us having a high line and then beating us, which again will happen. But the fact that it's happening 3 times in a game is annoying. Once every few games, you take it on the chin. Very, very understandable. But when it happens like this, it's... Hopefully someone asks Flick this question in the post-match press conference, pre-match press conference on Sunday for the match on Monday against Daegu, whatever it may be, whatever the team's, I think it's called Daegu, like Daegu. But that for me is the big concern. We were talking about this all of last season, that we're conceding too many goals. Yes, the line is great, blah, 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 but you have to, remain firm into your style of play. Flick was saying, oh, we're going to fix things. We're going to fix it. We know the problems, and we're still seeing the same thing, bro. It's a bit annoying. I'm not going to lie. But, of course, in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the performance. Who are your standout players, your man of the matches? What are your thoughts on the tactical adjustments that Flick has been making? Trying Gerard Martin at left center back. Your thoughts on, his selection for the team, bringing on the Fernandez cousins as well later on. Your thoughts on their performance. I thought they both looked pretty well. Giddy looked much better than Tony. Thoughts on the, everything revolving around the game. Drop a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Go,